Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I get into today's video, I just want to give out a quick disclaimer that this is not in any way, shape, or form meant to slander or defamate Jaclyn Cosmetics or Jaclyn Hill herself. This is strictly just giving my opinion on the situation from all the information that I've gathered from watching actual drama channels videos and from what I've seen online. I'm not a drama channel. Not that I didn't do any research, but if you're looking for new information, this isn't it, sis. This is just literally my opinion on what I think, what I believe, what I don't think is true. Again, these are my opinions. You can form your own opinions. If they're not the same as mine, that's fine, but that does not invalidate my opinions. Neither does it invalidate yours. We're all humans. We all have the right to form our own opinions. You can express yours in the comments. Just do it respectfully, and let's just get into it. So I'm just going to quickly recap kind of what's been going on. It's been all over the internet, so I'm pretty sure you've heard about it by now. So Jaclyn Hill here on YouTube released her brand, Jaclyn Cosmetics, which has been in the works for 5 years. She brought it up 5 years ago, and you would think that 5 years later people have forgotten about it. People are like, Jaclyn Cosmetics what? But no, like literally people have been bothering her, asking questions, when is Jaclyn Cosmetics coming out? She has such a cult following. So 5 years later, she finally releases and launches her brand. Everybody's super excited. She has so many people just waiting for the launch date. She does a video. So that's her first major launch, is her line of nude lipstick. She releases the video. People are super excited. I believe it did very well because from what I understand, from my knowledge, from what I've seen, some of the shades are actually sold out online, and I know she ordered a bunch of lipstick components and produced so many lipsticks. So for her first launch, she did really well. She sold out a bunch of shades. You can look up the numbers. I know this is probably, like I said, this is not really going to be informative. This is just my opinion, what I believe. If you're looking for like good information on this subject, I would definitely check out T-Spill. They did a very good video today, and also I really personally love watching Nick Snyder on The Viewer's Voice, so you can check out those. I'll link some of their videos down below that they've done on the situation for more like accurate like numbers. So everybody's super excited to get their lipsticks. She swatches them. They look gorgeous. They look beautiful. They look buttery, creamy. The shades are amazing. The brand launches. People get their lipsticks, and to say that they were not perfect is like an understatement. Like, people had so many problems with their lipsticks. Again, you can go watch other videos for photos and video of people looking at the lipsticks under microscopes. There were holes in the lipsticks. There were hairs, not just on the lipsticks, embedded into the bullet of lipstick itself. The lipsticks were grainy in texture. There was like chunks of who knows what in the lipsticks. So people were just scared to apply them onto their lips. People were worried if it was a health hazard. Some people were actually having reactions. Some people were getting cut because of foreign objects, like I said, embedded into the lipsticks. People were not happy. And what made it worse, instead of coming out up front and addressing the situation, again, like maybe not even giving answers, but just she refused to address the situation, Jaclyn, for 6 days. She barely released a video yesterday, maybe today. I have to look, I forgot when I saw it. So she was quiet until then, and that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. They're like, okay, this is not a collab anymore with Morphe or Makeup Geek or whoever. This is your business. You should be at the forefront. You should be addressing the situation, at least acknowledging like, hey guys, I know there's a problem. She did tweet out something, but it was just like, it wasn't what people were expecting for this being her brand and her name literally being on the lipstick component. That being said, she finally addressed the situation. She put her video. I don't think the matter is at end, but I think it's at like a stopping point until unless someone actually like looks into lipstick, gets it tested themselves. So I'm just gonna give my opinion on Jaclyn's video, what she said, what I believe, what I don't believe, and we're gonna go from there. So now that I recapped the issues with the lipsticks, let me just recap really quick what she said in her video. She said that the holes in the lipsticks were oxygen bubbles that came up during production because the vats were not like mixed properly, because they mass produced so many lipsticks in such a short amount of time. So that was the holes. Apparently they're oxygen bubbles. She says the main issue is the fibers, the hairs. Her reasoning, her excuse is that allegedly her workers, or not even, I don't even know if they're her workers, the lab employees in the lab wore white fuzzy gloves while packaging her lipstick components as to not smudge the component with latex or nitrile gloves, whatever you have. I don't think latex is the standard anymore because a lot of people have latex allergies. I used to be a dental assistant. We didn't use those in the office. We would use nitrile gloves. But anyways, apparently those smudged the lipstick components, so they switched to fuzzy white cotton gloves. T-Spill, again, I'll link that video down below, kind of debunked this. She put on a nitrile vinyl, whatever, not a white fuzzy cotton glove, and she touched a bunch of lipstick components that she had at home, not Jaclyn Cosmetics, but just random ones that had that were smooth, that were shiny, that had glass. She touched them, no smudges. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that was her reasoning behind that. And then she said the grittiness in the lipsticks, again, was because they were not mixed enough in production because they were trying to just, push out so many lipsticks. So she didn't really address the foreign objects that people were finding in her lipsticks, which I thought was a big issue because people were actually showing that they were getting cuts on their lips. So that she didn't address. So that's kind of still up in the air as to how some shards of plastic got into her lipsticks, or how there was chunks of stuff in there. So that's one thing that I'm kind of okay, where did that come from? You just completely skipped over that one. So assuming that all her reasoning was right, that all her excuses are accurate and truthful about the fuzzy gloves, about it just being, rushed so that there was issues with the lipstick, it still comes down to quality control. This is your brand. Your name is on the forefront of everything. Your name is slapped across the campaign, on the components, on your PR package. Your name is everywhere. So my question is, why are you not in the lab daily, or at least weekly? Because honestly, if she was, and again, this is my personal opinion, if she was in the lab at least once a week, or even, because she says she mass produced these lipsticks in a month, so you would think that, okay, we have to make sure this goes off without a hitch. This is literally going off in a month. You're gonna want to be in the lab every day. What was she doing? If she was not looking at her lipsticks every day, how did this get past so many people? How did somebody not catch it, basically, is what I'm saying? How did Jaclyn not catch this? Her quality control team, if there was a team, what were they doing? Were they just okay, not even looking at it? Honestly, again, my opinion, I feel since they did start production so close to the launch date, and again, this is my opinion, this is not fact, allegedly, whatever, not truth, this is just what I feel that they kind of just skimped over quality control, if they did it at all, because there's no way that so many lipsticks had so many issues for them not to catch it. Or they caught it, it was too late, and they were well, we'll just see what happens. Maybe they were hoping nobody would notice. How they thought nobody would notice, I don't know. But that's just honestly what I think. Either they just didn't care about quality control, not that they didn't care, but just that it wasn't done properly, or they did catch it and they just went with it. They just rolled with it. At the end of the day, I feel bad for Jaclyn, because I know she was excited. You're launching a makeup brand, which is something that I know she's been hoping for and wishing for and working for so long. I do feel bad for her. And it is the lab's, the lab is at major fault here for, not complying. I'm sure there's standards, right? I think it's common sense to know that you don't wear fuzzy things when you're working with makeup or anything, because there's fibers, and how she said in her video, there's fibers flying everywhere when you take off your gloves. So how come you didn't see that? You know what I'm saying? So again, even if, let's assume all her reasonings, her excuses are true, it comes down to poor quality control and a lack of involvement from Jaclyn herself in the production and the inspection of her lipsticks. Because if it was my brand, if I was putting my name on something, you better believe I'm gonna be checking like every other one, like, okay, does this look good? Does this look good? Does this look good? I want it to be perfect. And it boggles my mind how when she did the Morphe Vault launch and people were having so many issues on her Let's Talk video, she brought out piles and piles and piles of her palette to swatch and test herself because people were having issues with them. So why wasn't that done with her lipsticks? You know, like, and then these are her lipsticks. So that just, again, kind of boggles my mind. I feel like if anything, she would want to like take more responsibility for this. So it just, I think she wasn't as involved as she says she was, or she claims to have been. Okay, so that was assuming that all of those explanations were true, which I don't believe. I really don't think so. I don't believe that the reason why, I mean, they might have been using white fuzzy gloves, but I don't think it was because of the lipstick component that they wanted to smudge. Because again, T-Spill did a video and they did not smudge. She touched like 3 of her lipsticks and they were still clear. And then the thing, I forgot who, I saw a clip and somebody took off the cap of their component and the inside was like smudged and it looked like it had water staining. So even if they were using fuzzy gloves, obviously something is still like dirtying up your component. So I don't believe that it was white fuzzy gloves, or even if it was, I don't believe the reasoning was correct. Again, either this lab just didn't care and just got what they had or what was cheap, I don't know the price of gloves, or they just didn't know the regulations and they were like, okay, we're gonna just use these gloves. I don't think it was because they were worried about the component, because again, she's been working on this component for 5 years, she says. So why all of a sudden you're actually gonna start producing your lipsticks? Are you gonna start wearing fuzzy gloves now just so they can get into your lipstick vats? Like, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then that whole excuse that your vats of lipsticks, the whole container was being wiped with the white cotton or fiber cloth or whatever. I'm not in the makeup industry, and even I know if I wipe my table, which is right there, with a cotton towel, with a paper towel, and I put Windex on it, even I know I'm gonna get residue, I'm gonna get lint. Like, anybody that's ever cleaned a window, a table, anything, you know that that's gonna have residue. I'm pretty sure that they probably have lint-free or like residue-free material, cloths, wipes, whatever, specifically for that purpose. This being a lab, I don't know how many clients they've had before, I don't know what other makeup brands they have put out, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, the fact that a makeup lab is going to wipe the inside of a lipstick container, vat, mixer, whatever you want to call it, and leave these little hairs in them. I'm not saying that didn't happen, I'm just saying if it did happen, that is just beyond irresponsible. And that does make sense though, because the hairs and the fibers were actually like embedded into the lipsticks. So this whole, like, they were flying around and they were just kind of getting on the top, I don't believe as much as that it was being wiped with something that left so much residue, because they were literally like embedded in the lipsticks. Some of them were on the top, but a lot of them, like, people were like pulling them out like nobody's business. And also a few people were finding like black hairs, so that white cloth, the white gloves, doesn't explain some of the black hairs that people were finding. So that, again, is still up in the air. Jaclyn didn't address that one, so I don't know if it's like something worse that she doesn't want to address because it's just too nasty, or if it just went over her head or whatever, but that's gross. And so that one is still up in the air, and we don't know anything about why people are finding black hairs in the lipsticks, which obviously, like, if you see a black hair anywhere, what's the first thing you think about is pubes. Like, that's gross. Unless it was somebody not wearing their hair net correctly, their beard net, whatever. Either way, it's gross. It shouldn't have happened. she didn't address it, so we just assume the worst. Especially if you give like some kind of explanation, even if it's fake, okay, whatever. But when you don't address it at all, you just leave people's minds to wander, and they always go to the darkest places. So you just take that and do with it what you will. So another thing she did address, or not address, she did state in her video that all her lipsticks are safe to use, and that they will, the issues with the lipstick once applied onto the lips will not affect the quality of the lipstick. I call BS. The holes, okay, whatever. Maybe the holes won't affect it because, you know, you can just go over it, it'll smooth it out, whatever. If there's fuzzy hairs on a lipstick and you put them on your lips, you're not gonna tell me that those hairs are not gonna be on your lips and you're gonna be like this all day because you're trying to get little hairs out of your lips. To me, that's affecting the quality and the performance of the lipstick. If I have to be pulling hairs out of my lips, then that's not a good lipstick. I'm not saying that the formula is not good. I'm just saying that that itself is not what that lipstick was intended to do. And it's performing poorly because it's causing discomfort. And that's just, I mean, for her to say it's still okay to use them, like it might be safe to use them because the products that were used to make the lipstick were FDA approved, but these foreign objects were not. I doubt that fuzzy hairs or random stray hairs are on the FDA approved list because those were not supposed to be there in the first place. That is contamination. That's contaminated. A foreign object in something where it's not supposed to be is contamination. And that's like, for her to say that you can still use these lipsticks, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people that are going to be out there that use them and they're going to be picking fuzzies out of their lips, and that's fine. You do you. Personally, I wouldn't use it because I just know I get annoyed very easily, and I know that would be very annoying for me to walk around feeling. I mean, we've all had lip gloss. I mean, I know these are lipsticks, but we've all worn lip gloss and your hair gets stuck and you have to pull it out and then you have to pull your hair. Like, that's not convenient for anybody, and it's just overall it's affecting the performance of the lipstick. And then also what she said was the grittiness. She said that once you put it on, it smooths out. But is that true? Like, if there's like chunks of things in your lipstick, like I just can't imagine like just swiping it a couple times is gonna melt it or smooth it enough to where you're not gonna feel it. Like, I feel like it's still gonna be chunky. There's still gonna be pieces of whatever wasn't mixed correctly in the lipstick on your lips. So again, that could be like just bumps. It could just make it look not smooth. Because I've heard obviously from people that swatched it that it is very buttery and very creamy. But when you throw in a foreign object or you throw in some grittiness, I mean, and the lips are a very sensitive area. The lips and the eyes are so sensitive. Like, I feel like you'll be able to feel it. I'm trying to wear a lipstick. I'm not trying to exfoliate my lips, you know? Like, so that, again, I don't believe, like, for her to say it doesn't affect the performance of the lipsticks and that you could still wear them doesn't sit well with me. I mean, I know you want people to use your lipsticks, and I get it. Like, it's your brand. Like, you want to be proud of it. You want people to wear it. But you have to think about your customers. You have to think about consumer safety, and just saying that you can still wear it. Like, would you wear it? So from my knowledge, this is the first lipstick launch, and again, I could be wrong, that has this many issues, and issues like not little, like, oh, they're scratched, or oh, there's a few air bubbles. Like, major issues. There's plastic, there's big holes, there's hairs embedded into the lipstick. What happened? Like, of all the makeup brands, of all the launches, of all the lipsticks in the world, like, why did this happen? Like, how did this happen in such a major way? Like, I feel like, honestly, I feel so bad for Jaclyn. Like, I really feel bad for her because I feel like something always goes wrong with her launches. But, you know, like, what is that saying about her as a business owner? And I know, like, her collabs were not her business, but she was still a businesswoman. She still had a part in them. But like, how does something this major happen when so many lipsticks have been launched, all this makeup? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, something major had to have gone wrong for all of these issues to arise. I don't know if this is a brand new lab that has never created makeup before. How do they get, I don't know what you need, if you need like certifications. I'm pretty sure you need to pass like inspections and training and everything. How do you get to like be a makeup lab and then this is your product? Like, this is what you're putting out. And then, because essentially, like, it's the lab's product. Like, yes, Jaclyn formulated it and everything, but the lab is ultimately the people responsible for creating the product, putting it out there. This is what they're giving us. This is what they're creating. And then Jaclyn for letting it, like, if I saw that, like, she could have put a stop to it. If she found it, if she saw it, that these were below subpar, is the nice way I could put it, it should have been put to a halt. But she let it come out to the public. But again, it's the lab that made them. They're the ones that ultimately created, you know, not created, but like, you know, produced these lipsticks. So how did they get past? Because I know you cannot just, okay, I'm going to go in a warehouse, I'm going to mix up some chemicals and make lipsticks. Like, no, I'm pretty sure there's regulations and everything. So how did they get past that? And then this, you know, these lipsticks are just like horrendous, you know. There's only 2 more things. I'm going to try to make this quick. I don't want this to be a long video again. So she says she started production at the beginning of May, I believe, and the lipsticks launched early June. So she had like about a month. I think somebody said like 30 days to produce, package, all of that stuff. That's why I believe that quality inspection or quality control, whatever, was just kind of out the window, because that does not seem like enough time to produce your lipsticks, thoroughly inspect enough of them to see what the whole launch is gonna look like. Because out of however many thousands or whatever lipsticks, you have to check like a good amount of them to get like a good average of your lipsticks. If you're checking 1 out of each batch, I mean, again, I don't work in a lab. This is what I believe. I could be completely wrong, but to me, if you're making, let's just throw out a number. Again, these numbers are not accurate. If you're making 1,000 lipsticks for 1 batch and you check 1 lipstick, that lipstick could be perfect and all the other ones are like not good. So either they just pushed quality control out the window, or they didn't do it thoroughly enough and they didn't like extensively inspect these lipsticks. And then again, what if they inspected them at one point? Like, I'm pretty sure there should be spot checks like throughout, unless they just like did it in one spot. They didn't do it here, some more here, all these little fuzzies are flying around. So they look good here, here come the fuzzies, they don't look good here anymore. So again, I'm pretty sure there should be spot checks. So there could have been a lot of things going wrong. Just overall quality control was not there. It was not where it needed to be. So that's one of my opinions, is I feel like the quality control was not there. And then the other one, like I said, I feel bad for her, but then I feel like she kind of put herself in this situation, because why would you give yourself such a small amount of time to actually make the lipsticks? You've had 5 years and you've been working on the component for 5 years, and then when it's time to actually make the part where people are going to use, the part that like can have issues, you're going to squeeze it into a month. I feel like that's just setting yourself up for failure, and I think it's irresponsible, because obviously you need to, like how she said, the air bubbles and things were not mixed properly. And that's just because they rushed it. I don't know why they rushed it, if there was something that, like a deadline she needed to meet that we didn't know about. But after 5 years, you would think, okay, like another few months. I don't know why she did that to herself. Again, we don't know any other factors. Maybe she had investors that were like, okay, like we need these lipstick out now, or we're pulling it. I don't know why anybody hasn't mentioned that. I just thought about that at the top of my head. Maybe that's why. But maybe like she had investors that were ready to drop her if she didn't release the lipsticks in time. That could be a theory. Again, theory, allegedly, my personal opinion, not fact. But hey, maybe that's it. So my final point before I close out this video, my final opinion, is she stated in her video that she is not only going to refund everybody their money, she is going to replace their lipsticks. Now, why do I think this is suspicious? Why do I think this is fishy? Because, okay, I don't know if people are getting their replacements yet. I've seen that some people are like haven't even got a responses yet. If people begin to receive their replacements in the next, even in the next like 3 weeks, I call BS. Because these lipsticks launched, what, like a week ago. If people start to get their replacement lipsticks, that would have meant that they had to have launched, they sold whatever, because they didn't know how well it was gonna do, so I doubt they're already making more, and they sold out a lot of shades and stuff, so they would have had to have launched their product, knew something was wrong with them, and started producing more lipsticks better to replace. Because if it truly was out of the blue and like, oh my god, we didn't know this was gonna happen, it would take time for Jaclyn to find a new lab or fix what was wrong with this one and produce lipsticks again. It would have to take, like, in my opinion, and actually produce them correctly would take a few months. So if people start to get their replacement lipsticks soon, in the next 3-4 weeks, I think that's suspicious, and to me that would make me feel like they knew that something was wrong with these lipsticks. They launched it anyways, and they were already making new ones that were not going to have any issues because they knew they were going to have to replace them. From a business point, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why they would do that, but that's the only explanation I could think of if people start to get their lipsticks soon. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Those are just my opinions. We'll see later what happens. I'm not a drama channel, so I don't think I'm gonna keep up with this. Like, if maybe something like major happens, maybe I'll make another video on it. But that's like the major thing I'm waiting for, is to see how quickly and how soon people start getting their replacement lipsticks. Because that's gonna be, if they start getting them soon, then that means that they knew and that they were already producing lipsticks. Because allegedly, Jaclyn barely found out about the fuzzy gloves like 2 days before her launch. So I think for them to switch over and start doing new lipsticks would take a while. And then she said it herself, because they were done so quickly, they weren't mixed properly. So I'm pretty sure that would add a good amount of time before they were able to produce new ones and package and whatever. I'm pretty sure she has to order more components as well. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Did anybody ask? No. Did I give my opinion anyways? I sure did, because I did a poll on Instagram to see who would watch the video. So follow me on my social media. My Instagram, my Twitter will always be down below. That way, if I ever ask for input, you'll be part of the fun. That way you can give your opinion, your input on what I do on my YouTube channel. Leave down in the comments what you think about the situation. Again, I'm sorry if you were looking for new information. I know this was not informative whatsoever. This was strictly just my opinion. Whatever I said in this video was my opinion. None of this is facts. This is just what I have gathered from watching other drama videos and from watching Jaclyn's video herself. This is not meant to defamate or slander her name or her company. This is just from what I've gathered, what I think was a little fishy. If you like this video, you can go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Like I said in my last video, your support means the world to me. I greatly appreciate it. And if you like this video, I do have other videos of different sorts. I don't do just one thing, I do kind of everything. So if you're into a potpourri of different videos, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Click the little notification bell, that way you don't miss a video. A few videos back, I said I was gonna upload Monday, Fridays. That kind of just went out the window, so I'm just uploading as I go. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.